Welcome to another edition of Tip Tuesday. I'm here with one of the newer agents on the Mogul team, rockstar Realtor Mike Sheret. He just had a huge win. We were shooting the breeze about it, and I said, wait a second. This is too big of a win not to share, and there's a lot of learning in your story. So do you want to hop on Tip Tuesday? Mike said, yeah, let's do it. So Mike, he just was in a multiple offer situation. So for those of you in Vancouver, you're probably thinking, yeah, of course, that happens all the time. For those of us in Edmonton, yes, we do have multiple offers. The market is starting to get to that point where desirable properties have attention. And Mike, he won a multiple offer situation by employing a couple of strategies that definitely won. So Mike, let's talk about those strategies. Let's talk about how you made it happen for your client.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks, James. My clients are very excited. So what we were doing is we were shopping for a property, kind of an acreage outside of city limits. Anything that kind of comes up close to the city limits, that's in, decent condition and with an acre or so. It's really sort of a hot commodity. So not a lot comes up for sale in a specific neighborhood. So when my clients called me and said, we want to go check out this property that you had sent us, I said, well, let's jump in the car and let's go. So we raced out there, took a look at it. We were actually, behind some other buyers, and the realtor had informed me on our way out there that there was an offer going to be coming in. So
Yeah.
we looked at the property. My clients sort of fell in love with the property. They had their price. They had their price point kind of stuck in their mind, right? So they didn't really want to go above their price. So, we said, after we viewed the property, we said, you know what? Let's just put an offer in. Let's put it at your max price. We might not win, we might win, who knows? They were asking 725. We wanted to go in at 700. So then when we were presenting the offer, I said to them, well, you know what? Let's give this a try. Let's write up a cover letter. We'll put a little description there. So she wrote a little cover letter saying,
wow, a cover letter. That is a tried, tested, and true real estate strategy. I love that you did that, by the way. That is, a lot of people joke, nobody reads the cover letters. All they care about is price, but they work. So sorry to interrupt. I love the fact that you did that and it worked. And
yeah,
so tell us about the cover letter.
So when I told them about the cover letter, they were like, what? Like, really? Like, you think that'll work? And I was like, well, it's definitely not gonna hurt the situation, right? So so the lady, she wrote up a little briefing on her and her husband and how they could see themselves living in the property, and growing their family there. And
yeah,
we could tell just by looking at the property that it was obviously, a family had owned the property before. There was like a big playhouse in the back and sort of like a kids play area and stuff. So anyways, she took her profile photo from Facebook and we kind of plopped it on there and we put it in front of the offer and submitted it. And 9:00 came around, they presented the offers, and the realtor called me back and said, you guys weren't the highest price, but my clients liked your offer the most. Your cover letter won them over. And
unbelievable.
Do you mind asking your clients if they would be willing to come up, $10,000 in order to win the offer? And he said, my clients are willing to throw in some stuff that they had in the garage. So they had a brand new like riding lawnmower and whatnot.
Right.
He's like, they'll include that in the price if you guys are willing to come up, $10,000 and kind of meet us in the middle between the highest price and your offer. So obviously I called my clients and, right away they said yes. It's kind of the dream property that they've been looking for a while. You know what? It doesn't hurt to throw that extra little piece of paper in. And for the amount of time it takes to write it up, I mean, she had it written up in 15 or 20 minutes, right? And
wow.
Yeah. So
that's so great.
honestly,
well, you got some of those acreage essentials thrown into the deal too, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, now they got a probably a $3,000-4,000 riding lawnmower with with the deal, and a
Yeah,
bunch of other
exactly.
things, right? Some patio furniture and all that. So,
Oh, I love
um,
it.
yeah,
Now, when it comes to winning multiple offers, I mean, we've talked a lot because I remember we chatted before you submitted the deal and we reviewed some of the other things that you can do to win a multiple offer situation. So, obviously, a cover letter is creative. It builds rapport with the seller. That human connection obviously helps make the buyer more appealing, and in this case, definitely did the trick. But what are some of the other strategies that you want to lean into in a multiple offer situation, and what are some of the things that you might want to avoid?
yeah. So obviously, you have to look at it from the seller's perspective, right? Like, what's going to be the most favorable terms for them, right? In this case, it might have been the thought of a young family growing up in this home that they had their family raised in, and whatnot. But for others, it might just be timing, right? It might be it might be price. Some people might be willing to wait, and just take the highest offer. Other people just want the right terms. They want to be able to leave when they want to, when it's convenient. They might be trying to plan to get into their next property, and if they can have an extra 30 days, or maybe they need to be out tomorrow. If you can come in and close really quickly, at the end of the day, that's what's going to really help with those multiple offers.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, when you're in a multiple offer situation, you really have to understand that the seller kind of has the upper hand, right? And so you're absolutely right. I love how you said you got to think about it from the seller's perspective and really put the time into understanding what the seller wants to see and do your absolute best to maximize those points from a buying perspective. And that's where the conversation comes in. I mean, obviously you use the cover letter as a conversation starter, but even as realtors, like sometimes it just pays to put in a little bit of extra time to build a little bit more rapport with that selling realtor and just say, hey, like what are the seller's actual priorities here? And then you can
Yeah.
start checking boxes that really matter. And you never know. Boxes that might be very important for the seller might be something that your buyer's super flexible on. So really
Mhm.
good stuff, Mike. I mean, I love it. Like such an awesome win share. And it's so cool to see you getting deals done like right out of the gate. This
Yeah.
guy's a superstar. So for everybody watching, if you're thinking about getting your real estate license, or you're a new realtor that's wondering, just wanting to share ideas, like, I mean, Mike, I'm speaking out of turn here, just volunteering your time on your behalf here,
Yeah.
but I'm sure if you want to reach out to Mike, he's an awesome new realtor and he's got a lot of stories to share. So good on
For
you,
sure.
Mike. Really appreciate you doing an awesome job and sharing this win. Like, it's kind of that, like, I heard one time a cover letter got a deal done. Well, this is that one time, and it did get a deal done.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's the thing, is like, you don't know until you try, right? And for what it takes to get it to add it into your offer, it's matter of minutes. And it definitely got the deal done. The realtor told me right from the beginning that it was the only reason that they considered our offer. So
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, thanks, Mike, for stepping in and sharing on another edition of Tip Tuesday.
perfect. Thanks, everybody.